Brass Birmingham is an economic, networking, and hand management game released in 2018 and designed by Gavin Brown, Matt Tolman, and Martin Wallace, with art by Gavin Brown, Lena Cossette, David Forrest, Guy Landgraf, and Damien Mameliti. The goal is to create efficient and prosperous networks on canals and rails, build and develop industries, and then sell the goods they produce. It's a tricky and tight game, but rewarding in its strategies. To set up, place the main board in the middle of the table. The only difference between the sides are cosmetic. Place the wild location and industry cards face up on the marked locations, then shuffle the remaining cards into a face-down draw deck. Place a random merchant tile on the marked spaces of the board, some will be blank. Place a beer token next to each non-blank merchant tile. Fill the market spaces with iron and coal cubes, leaving one space open at the bottom for coal and both spaces open for iron. Each player takes a player mat, again night or day is up to player choice, and chooses an available color. They then take their corresponding character tile, link tiles, industry tiles, victory point marker, and income marker. They also receive 17 pounds and draw 8 cards each. The industry tiles are stacked in the matching spaces on their player board with the split half side face down. The VP markers go to the 0 space on the progress track, and the income markers go to the 10 space, 0 income. All player tokens are randomly placed in the turn order track, defining turn order for the first round. Whoever's at the top will take the first turn. In Brass Birmingham, players take on the roles of historical entrepreneurial figures in the English Industrial Revolution in the late 18th and early 19th centuries. I know, it sounds really exciting. So let's dive in. The game is played over 2 eras, broken down further into 8 rounds each, during which players will take turns in the order defined by the turn order track. On those turns, each player will perform a total of 2 actions, and then the next player goes. The actions available are build, adding industry tiles to the main board, network, adding link tiles to expand personal networks, develop, removing industry tiles from their player mat to gain access to higher level tiles, sell, flipping built industries to increase income and gain points at the end of the era, loan, taking a hit to your income to gain some quick cash now, scout, replacing cards in your hand with one each of the wild cards to add versatility to future actions, and pass, in the instance that you have nothing you can or want to do. The actions are driven by discarding a card to the player's personal discard pile, even passing, and the specific card chosen only matters for the build action. When performing build, the card discarded will either define a location or 1 or more industries. This includes the wild cards. If it is a location, the player may place a matching industry in an open space at that location, even if it is not in their network. If it is an industry, they must place a matching industry in a location they do have in their network. Personal networks are the locations that are connected by the player's link tiles and or have their industry tiles there. The build requires spending resources, usually sourced from the board or by paying a bit more money, and any money spent is placed on their character token to be discarded at round end. Once all players have taken a turn, the round order is adjusted based on who spent the least to most money, and a new round begins. After the draw deck is exhausted and all players have placed their last cards, the era ends and links and flipped industries are scored. If it was the end of the first or canal era, then all obsolete level 1 industries in the main board are removed, but not from their player mats, along with all canal links, and any used beer tokens are replaced at the merchant tiles. All players' discard piles are reshuffled into a main deck, and each player draws 8 cards again. If it was the end of the second or rail era, then the game ends and the player with the most points wins. Ties are broken by most income and remaining money. My partner abhors this game. There's really no other way to put it. She reminds me of it often. But Imperial Steam she likes, so small victories. What I find interesting in Brass is the notion that you are both relying on other players to build market industries that you can take advantage of, while also cajoling them to, please sir, let me have one more sale at that market before you do. More? I think what she takes the most issue with is how figuratively dirty the game is. You have to take out loans, hurting your income. You have to burn cards with a scout action that someone else is really hoping to get. You have to hoover up all the iron another player just added to the board to build those breweries you desperately needed, and then the other player uses your beer from your breweries to make their sales? How dare they? Maybe I'm starting to see her side in this. It is important to keep an open mind when I'm always game.